Was Janice.
We'll put Clayton, Harry. Janice needs to go over here. Then Jerome.
You need to call out the order so that everybody knows what judge they are.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Steve O'Malley goes to 7.
And
Janice goes back there. So Ken, Mike, switch Stephen and Gary. Okay, so just for your information while we're getting ready here, Clayton, you're judge number 1. Harry, you're judge number 2. Janice, you're judge number 3. Jerome, you're judge number 4. Ken, you're judge number 5. Mike, you're judge number 6. Steve is judge number 7. And Gary is judge number 8. I have them in order on my screen so I can keep track of them.
It's Jerome, Steve,
7.
Michael, Gary.
Jerome, Ken, Mike, Steve, Gary.
Hello, this is Gary.
Harry, can you hear me?
Yes.
yes.
Okay, excellent.
Jerome, you Mac bid fanatic.
I talked to Janice all the way home, Jerome.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's fun.
Okay, we're going to get started. Everybody ready?
Ready.
Okay, let's get started. NCC Electronic Image Competition for March 2025. Nevada Camera Club, good evening, welcome. Nevada Camera Club members and guests to the NCC Electronic Image Competition for March 2025. Those with a copy they wish to have included in the April newsletter need to submit it no later than this coming Tuesday evening to publisher at nevadacc.org. Our committee staff includes setup assistants Stephen Cupp, Craig Hicks, Linda Hicks, and Mary Sheets. Announcer tonight will be Edward Stiglitz, projectionist Stephen Cupp, scorekeeper Mary Sheets, the merits recorder Juliana Stratton. Our judges this evening are in chair number 1, Clayton Fox, in chair number 2, Harry Gooman, in chair number 3, Janice Phillips, in chair number 4, Jerome Hamilton, in chair number 5, Ken Lawrence, in chair number 6, Mike Chapman, in chair number 7, Steve O'Malley, in chair number 8, Gary Galvin. 34 members entered 93 images in 32 unique categories. Those with live mics, please turn off your cell phone. Judges with comments, please remember to include a strength as well as a suggestion for improvement. And now, here is your Nevada Camera Club Electronic Image Competition for March.
This is muted or not.
Okay, if we're ready to begin, we're going to begin in the advanced class, color division, animals, pets. And the title is Sapphire Ice, and my judges are going to be Judge 1, Clayton, Judge 3, Janice, and Judge 7, Steve.
Ed, just a correction. This is abstract.
Yep. Abstract, sorry.
Ed, can you go through all the stuff again?
Yes, advanced, color, abstract. The title is Sapphire Ice. The judges are Judge 1, Clayton, Judge 3, Janice, and Judge 7, Steve.
Thank you.
Scores?
Ed, this is Mike, Judge Six. I don't see the image. Do I have to do something here?
Yes. The scores are 8, 8, and 8 for 24 comments. Mike, I'll be right with you.
Okay.
I'll go on this one. It's a cool image. It's kind of makes you wander all the way around. Probably would have got a better score if you could have cleaned up some of those spots up in the top right for me. I know they're probably dust or whatever that's on the whatever object there, but it's kind of cool. I like it.
Score to 24 was the only entry in the category. One moment, folks. Mike, in the upper right-hand corner, you should have a button that says something like show the participants in side-by-side viewing or something like that when you click on that button. Is there a button on the upper right-hand corner of your screen, Mike?
I'm looking here.
It should say view.
Well, it says animals and pets for some reason.
No, no, okay, that's the image.
Oh,
Okay, that's where the image will pop up. Right now, the image is that's the title slide. So you're not judging this next one. Let's see if the image pops up there when we do the next one. So
okay.
let's stay with the same judges, Clayton, Janice, and Steve. We are now moving on to animals and pets, intermediate color with Don't Ruffle My Feathers. Scores? That's 7, 7, 8.
I gave it the high score only because you're in the intermediate group and I want to give you a little encouragement. I mean, the lighting is strong, but you still have the sharp eye. I mean, I like the angle of the bird. What you need to do is include the whole bird. It's not a good idea to chop off the feet, and the legs are a little bit too bright. But otherwise, you're on the right track.
Same category, same judges. Next, we have Great White Pelican dives in for fish.
And is this still intermediate?
This is still intermediate, yes. Scores? 8, 8, 8. Comments?
This is an interesting angle. It took a little while to figure out how the bird was. I can't believe the detail you got in the feathers and the whites. You did a great job on that. And to get him diving into the water, good capture. Almost looks like you used a drone or something, but nice angle.
Scored a 24. We have 2 to review for placement, starting with the Great White Pelican, going back 1 to Don't Ruffle My Feathers. A 1 or a 2, please, for the ruffled feathers. Scores. And the judges have selected Great White Pelican. So now, Mr. Steve, did you get that? I mean, Mr. Michael, did you get that figured out? Do you see it now? Did it work for you?
I see it, but it's about the size of a credit card. I cannot get it to go onto the screen in a large way.
If you you should be able, there should be a bar between where you see the people and where you see that picture. There should be a vertical bar. And if you put your cursor over it, you should see a grab handle and you should be able to slide it to the right so that the people become little and the picture becomes large.
That seems to be working a little bit.
Because you don't need to see any of the people at all. So you can make the picture as large as you can. And I just need to see you so I can see your scores. You don't need to see anybody.
Right. I can get it a little bigger. That's all. Let me work on it here.
Okay. For those of you guys, those of you folks keeping score, I am going to take Mike off of this one and add Jerome to this judging section. So we're going to go with Jerome 4, Ken 5, and Steve 7. We are going to move on to Advanced Color Animals Pets with Male Finch. Scores? 889. Comments?
I'll go again on this one. The capture is really cool on this thing. I mean, it's a pretty sharp detail and all that. I just wish some of the highlights had been kind of toned down, and the whole, I guess the background is kind of just white. But yeah, the highlights are a little bit bright for me, but other than that, it's pretty cool.
Scored a 25. Same category, same judges. Ruby Crowned Kinglet. Scores? 777. Comments?
Yeah, I'll take them. The bird's a little soft. I really like how his head is tilted, though. That's a good image to capture the birds. The branch is also, it's a little, kind of takes you out.
Scored a 21. We have 2 to review for placement, starting with this one. Going back on to Male Finch. And 1 or a 2, please, on the Finch. And the judges have selected Male Finch. Okay, judges. 2, Harry. 3, Jerome. And 7, Steve. Master, Animals Pets, Napping, Hole in the Wall Pup. Scores? 878. Comments?
I think this
Terry's
is
on mute
really,
there.
go ahead.
Yeah. So if I look in detail, yes, I can actually see all of it. But some of there's like distracting elements in the picture, like the little pieces in front of the face and like the wall, etc. I mean, it's otherwise it's. I think it's captured fine. It's in focus, but it wasn't that pleasing to me.
The score of 23 was the only entry in the category. We're going to stay with judges Harry, Janice, and Steve. Excuse me, that's not. Yeah, judges. Okay, I said yeah. I'm gonna change the judges Harry, Janice, and Steve. We're going to go intermediate commercial. Open 84 years and counting.
Intermediate, right?
Intermediate commercial. Scores 778. Comments.
I'll go with the 8. I like the lines and all that in it. The only thing that for me it would have made it a lot better is obviously some clouds and some more color in the background and all that. But I like the lines and the way it looked.
Scored a 22 and was the only entry in the category. Judges 1, Clayton. Judge 2, Harry. And Judge 6, Mike.
No, I'm going to have to sign off. I can't get this to work, and I can't see the images well enough to give anybody a score. So,
Okay, I'll work around it. Thank you, sir.
all right.
Judge 8, Gary. So we're at advanced commercial color with Circus Circus. So our judges are Clayton, Harry, and Gary. Gary, do you know you're judging?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Pull them up now. I don't pull the page.
Jerome, you're muted. Jerome, you're muted.
Somebody needs to explain to Gary. Gary, you hold it up so nobody can see the score, and then when Ed
I
says,
didn't hear reveal. I didn't hear it.
then you'll turn it around.
Okay.
Okay. Reveal.
Okay. There we go.
989.
I was the 9. I think it just really pops. And it's clear, crisp. I love the lights. Good job.
Scored a 28. Same judges, same category. Jeeps doing Jeep things. Scores? 998. Comments?
I started off with 8 and then I just moved on to 9 after I looked at the picture in a lot more detail. And I think the way the Jeeps are positioned along a diagonal is very pleasing, and like the tires on the rock actually show that what exactly is the activity going on. And the trees in the background and the sky, they're all very well exposed, and the color palette actually complements each other. So I enjoyed the image.
Scored at 28. We have 2 to review for placement, starting with Jeeps. Going back 1 to Circus Circus. A 1 or a 2, please, on Circus Circus. A 1 or a 2, oh, there we go. Scores? So the judges have selected Jeeps doing Jeep things. Okay, let's go to judges. Jerome, 3. No, Jerome, 4, Janice, 3, and Gary again on 8. So it's going to be Janice, Jerome, and Gary. We're going to go to intermediate commercial.
Creative.
Dancing Poppies.
Creative.
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 It is creative. Sorry. Intermediate creative. Dancing Poppies. Scores? 998. Comments?
This had a lot of impact as soon as it came up for me. I love all the positions of the poppies. I love the curvatures of the stems and the leaves. I think you did a great job on this image.
Scored a 26 and was the only entry. Let's go to judges. We're going to stay with Janice, Jerome, and Gary, but we're going to move to advanced class, creative, White Owl Canyon in infrared. Scores? 787. Comments?
You know, I like the composition of this image. I don't know if I like the creative technique. The colors just don't work for me. I think as a normal image, it would have been better actually. But the composition is good in the sky, and the effects of the clouds are great.
For an infrared, I think it's almost a combination of a monochrome infrared and a little bit of a color infrared, but the colors are kind of faded out. So I think if you would have gone one direction or the other, it would have been a stronger infrared image.
Scored a 22. Same judges, same category. Think pink. Scores? 989. Comments?
The impact on this image is just fantastic. The diagonal axis of the blossoms there, and just the detail that is coming out and the tonality that is spread throughout the petals, and we even in the darker areas of lower quadrant there is visible. So you really feel like you could actually touch this flower. They did just an outstanding job on the lighting.
Scored a 26. We have 2 to review for placement, starting with Think Pink and going back 1 to White Owl Canyon in infrared. A 1 or a 2, please, on White Owl Canyon in infrared. Scores, and the judges have selected Think Pink. Okay, let's go to Judge 1, Clayton, Judge 4, Jerome, and Judge 5, Ken. We're going to go Master, Color, Creative, Desert Bloom. Scores? 888. Comments?
I like the green colors against the purple colors, and I think that's the most dynamic part about the image, and that's probably why I scored it a little high. I like the technique you're using for creative, but it doesn't seem to be affecting the image the same way across the board, and I think that kind of takes down for the creative category in that response.
Scored a 24 and was the only entry in the category. We're going to stay with judges Clayton, Jerome, and Ken, but we're going to move on to intermediate documentary for Fall, Floyd Lamb Park. Scores? 898.
I think I'm the 9. This intermediate class, I think this is a really good job for an intermediate. Great colors, great composition with the trees and framing on both sides and even the top. I think that leads you in. Color's really nice. I think the water could be a little bit blown out, and I would like to see the horizon line move up or down just a little bit instead of being right in the middle. But for intermediate, I think this is done really well.
Scored a 25 and was the only entry in the category. Okay, we're going to change to judges Jerome, Judge Ken, and Judge Steve. Advanced color documentary on Belay. Scores? 787.
All right, I was 8, but I was waffling between a 7 and an 8. I really like the rock wall and the separation that the sky provides. The problem is the guy that you're calling this for the title is really blurry.
Scored a 22. Same judges, same category. RC Marine Jet Landing. Scores? 889, comments?
I think it has a lot of impact because of the color of the plane itself. There's a lot of interest as well. It's great. I think that we can see one of the pilots perfectly, and he's sharp. The plane's sharp throughout. I like the separation from the background. Just being kind of bullseye brought me down from a 9. I think it could have had a little bit more compositional value to it and helped it a little bit.
And for me, it was the 2 white dots behind the tail because I followed through the plane and that's where I stopped.
Scored a 25. Same judges, same category. Civil War Cannon. Scores? 788, comment?
For me, I'd have moved around to the right on this. I mean, I like the cannon and all that's kind of cool. But the display panel over on the left just immediately takes my eye off it. I'd have spun it around to the right and got a different angle on it to eliminate the display panel.
Scored a 23. Same judges, same category. Kyoto Tories. Scores? 889, comments?
I really like this composition. I like the black and the orange, and what I like is it carries you into the photo to the right. I'm not sure what else you could have done to this to make it better, other than to focus stack it, but this is documentary.
Scored a 25, and the only entry, excuse me, same judges, same category, continuing on, have a seat. Scores. 898, comments?
I like that you chose to display this a little bit more of a slimline. I think that helps add to it. And for a minute, I kind of wanted to cut out the foreground, but again, I think I like that you left that in there, especially since you see the foreground rocks are a little bit more detailed, where the background rocks with that haze are kind of faded out. I think that adds. I like the chairs. The only thing is, I don't know if you could have waited another couple minutes and had these 2 guys by the blue chair not in there, because they kind of distract from the chairs, which is your main subject. Having the people in the background around the tower is okay, but it's just those 2 there.
Score to 25, same category, same judges. Cruising lobster boat. Scores? 888. Comment.
I'll go on this one. I like what Jerome said on the other one. I like the slimline look on this. Kind of makes you wander around. You got the wake of the boat over on the left. You got the lighthouse over on the right there. Got a little bird right in there. The only thing that I think would have been better, which you didn't have any control of, is clouds in the sky or anything. I see a couple little dust spots in there. But otherwise, it's a pretty good image.
Same category, same judges. Chicago skyline at dusk. Scores? 988. Comments.
Well, you got some of the important buildings in there, which is always a plus to let us know it is, in fact, Chicago skyline. I think really the impact here is a good job on the lights, but the colors in the water really add to the image. And again, we've had a couple of slim lines. This is even a little slimmer, a little wider. And I think it all kind of adds and works together. A couple little clouds in the sky add to it. I don't know what else you could have done to make it better.
Score to 25. Same category, same judges. Bucking horse.
We are still in documentary, correct?
Advanced color documentary. Scores? 879.
Yeah, I was the low one on this. It's a great capture. I love how the horses turned and the rider's all up to where he's supposed to be, and it's kicking up dirt. I just wish the shutter speed would have been a lot faster.
Scored at 24. Okay, if I did my math right, I believe we have 4 to review for placement. Starting one backwards at Chicago skyline at dusk. Going back 2 to Have a Seat. And then one more to Kyoto's Tories. And then back to RC Marine Jet Landing. Okay, judges, do you want to see those again?
Yes, please.
Okay. The RC Marine Jet Landing. And then Kyoto Tories. Then Have a Seat. And then Chicago skyline at dusk.
I'm ready.
One more time, please.
Okay. Chicago skyline at dusk. And then back to Have a Seat. Kyoto Tories. And RC Marine Jet Landing.
I'm ready.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, or 4 for RC Marine Jet Landing. Scores? Okay, hang on. And then Kyoto Tories? And then Have a Seat?
Oops.
And then Chicago Skyline at Dusk. And the judges have selected Chicago Skyline at Dusk, with Have a Seat being in second place. Okay, that was entertaining. Let's move on. We're going to stay with the same judges for a moment here with Jerome, Ken, and no, we're going to change that. We're going to go Clayton, Jerome, and Ken. So Clayton, Jerome, and Ken, we're going to go advanced, monochrome, documentary, Valley of Fire. Scores? 878. Comments?
I'll go ahead and comment since I was the low man on the totem pole. This is a morning shot. I know that. And having the light on the rocks right in the middle that kind of go along. Well, I guess it's more to the top that kind of go along with that. I think that's taking away. This is a very popular photo down this road, so a lot of people are doing it. I think you've handled that section and you know where to go. So I would definitely go back. It'd be great if you had a little bit in the sky because that would add a little bit of interest to the back. But having the point in the back kind of diffused like it is with the light on that in the morning and having the rest of this in shadow, I think is more the shot that you want to get.
And that scored at 23 and was the only entry in the category. We're going to go to judges 1 Clayton, Jerome 4, and 5 Ken. So Clayton, Jerome, and Ken. Master, color, documentary, Copacabana, beach sunrise.
Copacabana.
Scores? 887. Comments?
I like the leading lines going down the beach, the hotel row, both the roads going down there, even the shoreline all kind of leads right to your sun. For a minute, I was going to go a little bit lower on score, but that's kind of what brought me up. I like that composition. The sun was it's kind of in the middle, but not in the middle. But as I followed the leading lines, all leading back there, it kind of helped up the score a little bit. The title is, I don't know, it kind of confuses me. So it's like trying to go from title to picture to picture to title. Sometimes simpler is better.
And that scored a 23. Next, we have in Master Color Documentary, we have Fishing Trash Even in the Pristine Arctic.
Ed, can you hear my audio?
Yes.
Thank you.
Scores. 887 comments.
I like the image. I like how the turns diving on the polar bear. It's all a bit blurry for me.
Scored a 23. We have 2 to review for placement, starting with Fishing Trash and going back to Copacabana. A 1 or a 2, please, on Copacabana. And the judges have selected Copacabana. Okay, judges 1, Clayton, and Jerome and Ken staying with the same ones. We're going to go intermediate, nature, wildlife, color, twins, Costa Rica. Scores. 888 comments.
Yeah, I'll take this since I'm the bird photographer. I love the Anacara. This is a great shot of them. Really nice perch for them. The background's appropriately blurred out. 2 things wrong with the image. It's just a touch soft, and I would have liked to have the whole tail on the bird on the left.
Scored a 24 and was the only entry. Okay, we're going to go with judges Harry, Janice, and Ken. Advanced nature wildlife, foraging honeybee.
Oh my. Whoops.
Scores. 998 comments.
This is a great image. I mean, it's so sharp, and to see the pollen on his legs, and I wish I could have captured that. Did a really nice job.
And that scored a 26. Same judges, same category, Diamond Beach. Scores?
Oops.
988. Comments?
I like this image. I like the orange sun reflection in the water. I almost like the left part of the image the best with the two, ice things, because the one on the right, just that flow of the water needs to be a little bit different. And so I kind of like just the other left half of the picture the best.
We scored a 25. Same judges, same category. A colorful confrontation. Scores? 898. Comments?
I really like the composition, and the focus is pretty good. I'm finding, like in the left bird and the red part, and actually both of the places, seems like maybe because of the noise reduction and whatnot, it looks a little bit unnatural in the color of the wings.
Scored a 25. Same category, same judges. African fish eagle. Scores? 888. Comments?
I like this image. They're hard to catch coming off the perch like that and getting their heads in focus. There's pretty good detail in it. There are some things that do bother me though. In the wings, in the upper wings, and in the tail, you can see where somebody brightened up this eagle, and you can see the halos. If it wasn't for the halos, I may have given this a higher score.
It's scored a 24. Same category, same judges. Goslings. Scores? 877. Comments?
I mean, these are great subjects, of course, and the colors are nice. It's just that there's just not enough interest. There's too many of the ducklings that are, not facing us. So you need to take a lot more shots to get more interest in this image.
Scored a 22. We have 3 to review for placement. We're going to start going all the way back to colorful confrontation. That one. And then back one more to Diamond Beach. And then back one more to Honeybee. Okay, if you guys are ready. If you're not, let me know. We can do them again if you want to.
I'm ready.
A 1, 2, or 3, please, for foraging honeybee. Scores? 2. And moving on to Diamond Beach. Scores? And then on to a colorful confrontation. Scores? The judges have selected foraging honeybee, but we have a tie for second and third between Diamond Beach and a colorful confrontation. I would like a 1 or a 2, please, for colorful confrontation. Scores? And the judges have selected colorful confrontation. Okay, let's go to Judge 4 for Jerome, and Judge 1, Clayton, and Judge 7, Steve. So we're going to go Clayton, Jerome, and Steve. We are moving on to Master Nature Wildlife for Hungry Fish at Chung Yin Lake. Scores? 877, comment?
I don't think you have a good place of focus. I do kind of like the pastel overall image, so it has a nice soft color. It's a good thing. I do like a couple of fishes that are sticking their mouths out, but then you have a stick in there and you get a half a fish and that's kind of all taken away. So maybe you could crop in a little bit more to just the fish with the interest and that would score a little bit higher.
Same category, same judges. Oh, that one scored a 22. Same category, same judges. Clash of the Kings. Scores? 999. Comments?
Obviously, the scores reflect, the image itself. I think great interaction between the two guys. Great image, a great catch, nice framing. Maybe if I would do anything, take a little bit off of the left side. There is like a little blue splotch down there, and that literally took my eye away for a minute, but I stayed with the 9. And then also for me, I think it's a little bit over, just a little bit too much over sharpened. It's a great image either way.
Scored a 27. Same category, same judges. Family Reunion. Scores? 878. Comments?
I'm a 7, so I'll talk again. I do like the kind of diagonal you have with the rock and with the seals kind of up at an angle. Again, I think there's a little bit of interest in here, but it's in specific places, and I think we have too much. So there's nowhere to focus to make you, you know, really in awe of the image.
Scored at 22. We have same category, same judges. Getting a nose job. Scores? 999. Comments?
I'll go on this one since everybody else been talking. I like the kind of the sunlight through the ear, the hairs on the ears, and the goatee. Obviously, the little bird that's perched right there. It's just a really good image. And this big old boy staring at you. I hope you were kind of far away from that.
Scored at 27. We have 4 to review for placement, starting with getting a nose job, going back to a family reunion, and then back again to Clash of the Kings.
Excuse me, Ed.
Yes.
Family reunion scored a 23, not a 22. So you only have 3 to review.
You're right. I did my math wrong. Great. So, and Clash of the Kings. So we're going to start this over again, starting with Clash of the Kings, and then going forward to Family Reunion, and then to Nose Job. So a 1, 2, or 3, please, on getting a nose job. Scores? Two, two, two. Family Reunion. Scores? Well, this is going to be unanimous. And Clash of the Kings. 1-1. And the judges have selected Clash of the Kings for first, a nose job for second. Okay. Let's go to judges Harry, Janice, and Steve. Master Monochrome Nature Wildlife Epic Journey. Scores? 988. Comments?
I'll go on this one again. The diagonal lines are great on this thing. The wildebeest just leaping through the middle of it is great. The ones at the bottom, I just keep looking straight down at those blurry ones at the bottom. And unfortunately, you probably couldn't have done much with that, but there it is.
Okay, that's scored at 25. Now we're going to move on to judges. We're going to stay with the same judges. We're just going to change categories. Harry, Janice, and Steve. Going on to Advanced Colored People. Maasai Chief's Son. Scores? 888. Comments?
It's a nice people picture. I mean, you've got nice color density in the image. I would have given a higher score if he was actually looking at you. So it would give us, I don't know, more impact.
Scored a 24, same category, same judges. Fun in the Dunes. Scores? 887. Comments?
Okay, I'll go. Um, this seems like a kind of snapshot to me. I don't know. Just the colors are kind of cool. That's about it. Just,
Scored a 23. We got 2 to review for placement, starting with Fun in the Dunes and going back 1 to the Maasai Chief's Son. 1 or 2, please, on Maasai Chief Son. Scores? 1-1-1, and they have selected the Maasai Chief's Son for first place. Okay. Judges Janice, Ken, and Gary. Master Color People, The Dig. Scores? 888. Comments?
Well, I'm seeing really just a very action-packed image here. We get the whole atmosphere of the arena, the lights above there, and the crowd in the background, and there's good action and nicely composed.
Scored a 24 and was the only entry in Master Colored People. We're moving on. We're going to stay with the same judges, but we're going to move on to Advanced Color Photojournalism. And the title is UNLV versus ASU. Scores? 888. Comments?
I really like looking at all the hockey players. I mean, there's a lot of interest in all their movements. I think you should have slimlined it and got a lot of the crowd out of there and cropped it closer to the net. So you're just focusing on those players because the players are great.
Scored a 24. It was the only entry in the category. We're going to stay with the same judges, but we're going to move to Master Color Photojournalism. The title is Rare Alpine Glow at Yosemite Half Dome. Scores? 998, comments?
I'm giving you a 9 because I think this is probably a rare capture and I think you did a great job. I'm not sure if the horizon is a little off. It looks like it's okay at the top, but then at the bottom it looks a little off, but I just think you were there at a good time and probably doesn't happen that often.
You scored a 26, same category, same judges. A tow truck's dilemma. Scores? 898, comments?
Well, I think you've got a good story cooking here. We've it's photo categories photojournalism in here. We see the tow truck on the highway there. We see the unfortunate incident of the car down there. So we've got the elements in there telling a story. Maybe it had been a little tighter crop or something on that. But I thought also the creative element of adding in there the reflection and the tow truck on the water was interesting creatively. But I like the fact that we got the story with what's going on here with the incident.
I want to know what they're pointing at.
They scored a 25. And we have 2 to review for placement. Starting with a tow truck's dilemma and then back to rare alpine glow at Yosemite Half Dome. Scores on Yosemite Half Dome are first place for Yosemite Half Dome. Okay, moving on. Judge 1, Clayton, Judge 3, Janice, and Judge 8, Gary. For Advanced Color Pictorial, Red Rock Sunrise with Joshua. Scores? 899. Comments?
I think this is a great image. I mean, I love the fact that Joshua tree is huge in the front, and then you've got some yuccas lower, and the colors are just great, and the silhouettes of the cactus are beautiful. I think you did a great job. To me, it's always hard to capture out there.
They scored a 26. Same judges, same category. Baja Dunes. Scores? 888. Comment?
Okay, I like the image, the textures that are going across it here. And there was a nice capture on seeing that. I think the picture would have been improved maybe during the time of day, or maybe because we needed to get more of the relief in the sand formations. And I'm not sure the little sliver of sky at the top is really helping, but I see what the photographer was going for, trying to give some, maybe a scope of where the image was taken, or of the depth of it. But the real story was in the abstract elements in the sand in the foreground.
The image scored a 24. Same judges, same category, resting on my back. Well, we do have a problem here, don't we?
Yes.
Okay. So give me just a moment, please. Okay. Projectionist, can we go back to Red Rock Sunrise with Joshua all the way back to the beginning? Okay. Everybody forget all scores that have been given.
Okay.
Judges, we're going to change judges to number 1, Clayton. Number 2, Jerome.
4, Jerome. 4.
Number 4, Jerome.
4, my lord. 4, my lord.
And we're going to stick with, where's my other judge at?
It was Gary.
And we are rescoring from.
Yes, we're rescoring from
scratch.
the beginning.
Okay.
So it's going to be it's going to be Clayton, Jerome, and Gary.
Ed, can we go back one slide so I know the category and all the
Let's
stuff?
go back one more, please.
Thank you.
Pictorial color advanced. Okay. And let me give me just a moment here so I can clean all this up, so I don't make mistakes again. And we're going with Clayton, Jerome, and Gary. Red Rock Sunrise with Joshua. A score, please. $9.9. We can have a new comment if we'd like.
The only thing I would quickly add, Janice hit the nail on the head here, but I just want to compliment the photographer on just having a fantastic, capturing the correct exposure to show all of that throughout the entire image. Just nicely done.
Okay, and that has now scored a perfect score. Next, we're going to go to Baja Dunes. Scores. 888. Comments.
I think Gary's comments on this the first time were spot on. I agree with him on the abstract value of all the sand. I think it has a good time of day, but maybe a little bit more time of day would have helped. And definitely the sliver of sky is not helping. We needed to see more up there or just cut it all the way out.
Scored a 24. Same category, same judges. Resting on my back. Scores. 987. Comments.
Well, I give it a high score, and I just really liked the blue tones throughout the image itself, and the thought process of the iceberg being on its back. I think it's a good composition also.
I do see the lion's face in the iceberg as what I was thinking on the back, and then the feet are sticking up, so he's kind of like floating in the water.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. That scored a 24. Same category, same judges, Morning at Morro Rock. Scores? 888. Comments?
I feel like this kind of has a bit of artistic value to it. Even though there's no reflection, I feel like the top kind of reflects the bottom in a strange way. You have that water going right through the center of the image, which first thought I thought, bad horizon line right in the middle, but there's almost a layer of a top image and a bottom image that kind of reflect their own value. Overall, I like it and it has a good feeling to it. I don't think it has enough impact to score any higher.
Yes, I agree.
Scored a 24. Same category, same judges, The Farmhouse.
What was the skill level?
The Advanced.
Thank you.
Scores? 988. Comments?
Well, I was the 9, and the others can comment if they want. But I just love it. You know, it's green, blue sky, the brown in the barn. It's clear. It's in focus. It's just it's pleasing to my eye. Good job.
And scored a 25. Same category, same judges, Joshua Sunrise. Scores? 888. Comments?
I love the pink sky. It even gives you the pink feeling in the bottom, which almost kind of feels like a color cast from that early morning light. I don't feel that the bushes on the bottom are helping. You know, I like having the horizon line down close to the bottom thirds, but then we break that up a little bit with those bushes, and I think that kind of takes away. It kind of crowds the bottom a little bit. And then it would have been great if we could have picked just a little bit better Joshua tree. I know I've been out there, so I know how bad some of these look.
Scored a 24. Same category, same judges, Bellum Tower. Scores? 878.
I'll talk to it if I can, because I think, you know, that I can talk to this one. It looks like it may have been a small file size. If we had gotten a much bigger file size, I think this would have rendered a lot better. But I love the composition. I love the reflection in the water below. So good job on that.
Yeah,
And
it's
let me know if I'm wrong.
no, I'm looking at it on my graphics monitor, and Clayton, you're correct. That's what I knocked down. But it's just the resolution is just sort of falls apart, especially in the brick part of the building.
I will say I want to award the photographer for using the trees to get rid of the sky and focus just on in there. I was actually trying to cut some of the right side out. I think a tall, slim line would look a little bit better. But I also think the reflection in the water is the best thing going on in
Yeah,
this.
that's the strongest
You
one.
could focus on that, even more than having the castle on the top. I think that would be great.
Okay, so judges, we're gonna need to get out our fingers and toes and count. We have 6 to review for placement.
Oh no.
So we're gonna go through them a couple times and get you going. This one does not in it. So let's go back one to Joshua Sunrise. And then back to the farmhouse. Back to Morning at Morro Rock. Then Resting on My Back. Baja Dunes. And Red Rock Sunrise with Joshua.
Let's go through one more time.
Yep. Red Rock Sunrise with Joshua. Baja Dunes. Resting on My Back. Morning at Morro Rock. The Farmhouse. Joshua Sunrise. Bellum. Oh, no, Joshua Sunrise is the last one.
Okay.
You're good. Clayton, how about you?
I'm good, Ed. Thank you.
How you doing, Gary?
All done.
Okay, so we're going to start here with Joshua Sunrise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 for Joshua Sunrise.
Oh, wait a minute. That's
3, 5, 1.
This is starting out terrible.
The Farmhouse.
When you read the Project 2025 playbook, it actually calls for evading of public
Scores? 1, 4, 4.
acts like Signal and other ways to communicate.
Morning at Morro Rock. Scores? 5, 6, 3. Resting on My Back. Scores? 4, 2, 5. Baja Dunes. Scores. Try it again. Scores 2, 3, 6. And then Red Rock Sunrise with Joshua.
I hope I didn't screw this up.
4, 1, 2. Give me a minute here. 1, 2. Clayton, what was your last score just now?
4.
4.
Yeah, you gave me 2 4s, Clayton.
What didn't I give you?
5? No, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 6. You didn't give me a 6.
Then 6 you have.
Okay, let me check everybody else. Okay.
I think we got 2 ties.
I had Judge 2 also gave us 2 4s.
I didn't.
Who's Judge 2? Me?
Yeah, Jerome.
I didn't give you 2 4s.
Okay, then I wrote it down wrong.
I had all mine laid out. So
Okay.
do we need to rescore them all?
I know, but I'm coming up with 3 with the same score.
Okay, that's what I said 2 ties, but yeah, I think there was 3 ties. There are 3 tied.
3 of them are tied.
Yes.
3 of them are tied from first, second, and third.
You're correct. That's what I have as well. So let's make this a lot. That just helped out everything. So we're now going to start all over again to review for placement, but this time we're going to go with a Red Rock Sunrise with Joshua, which is this one. And then we're going to go to the farmhouse. Wait a minute, I'm a little backwards here. The farmhouse and then Joshua Sunrise. The pink one. Okay, yes. So Joshua Sunrise, the farmhouse, and Red Rock Sunrise. Do you want to see them again?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay, Gary?
Ready to go.
Okay, so let's go with Joshua Sunrise, the one we have there now, a 1, 2, or a 3. 2, 2, 2. The farmhouse. 1, 3, 3. And Red Rock Sunrise with Joshua. 3, 1, 1. That works. 5, 7, 6. Okay, so Red Rock Sunrise with Joshua gets first place. Joshua Sunrise gets second place, and the farmhouse gets third place. Thank you very much, folks. Okay. Scores, we're changing the judges on this one to Harry, Judge 2 for Harry, and then Jerome, and then Steve. And we're going to go advanced monochrome pictorial, dark sky over Yosemite. Scores? Seven, 8, 8. Comments?
All right, I'll go.
Yeah.
It's a nice capture. I love Yosemite. I haven't been there in years. It's not a 9. I don't know what to say as far as to make it a 9, really, other than it's a really good image, just not a 9. Sorry.
Score to 23. Same judges, same category. Do Euro, river, boats, and bridges. Scores? 8, 7, 8. Comments?
I like the image of the bridge and the boats. I think there's a lot of interest in there. I think, technically we have to watch for technical things like everything is kind of leaning. At least it looks like it to me. Maybe it's just the balance within the image that is doing it, because it almost looks like everything's leaning to the left a little bit, the bridge and the water. But it could just be the boats and the angle of the bridge that's making me believe that.
No, I saw the same thing. I look in the back, that bridge or whatever, way in the back, and that looks flat. And I think it's just the angle that makes everything look like it's leaning. But I agree with you.
Yeah.
Scored a 23, same category, same judges. Lighthouse in a Foggy Morning. Scores? 779.
I love the foggy day. I think there's always a lot of good aspects to that, and it really helps out scenery wise. I think this one is oddly enough the time of day, because the fog is so bright and the rocks in the front are so dark. It's hard to, you're kind of losing a little detail in the front. So I don't think there's enough interest to sustain both the brights and darks in this particular image. Also, having the light tower right in the middle bullseye is not helping me compositionally.
Scored a 24, 3 to review for placement. Starting with Lighthouse in a Foggy Morning, then back to Douro River Boats and Bridges, and then back to Yosemite. A 1, 2, or 3, please, on Yosemite. Scores? 1, 2, 1. River Boats and Bridges. Scores? 1, 2, 2. Lighthouse in Foggy Morning. Should come up. 3, 3, 3. Very good. The judges have selected Dark Sky over Yosemite as first place. Okay, now judges 1, Clayton, 2, Harry, 3, Janice. Double check that. That's good. We're going to start with Advanced Color Portraiture, Chandley. Scores? 888. Comments?
I think it's a very well done image. There's good lighting, good focus, and the model's pose is good. I personally thought like a tighter crop would actually help the image a bit more, and like the top parts of the clouds are not really adding anything here.
That scored a 24. Moving on, same category, same judges. Pelican Colors. Scores? 888. Comment?
I have a,
988.
Oh, 988. I'm sorry.
thank you. Hold on. I gave it a 9. I see the focal point is right on the eye. I love the colors. You can see the clarity in the in his feathers. It's an interesting picture to me, and I like the tonal contrast that I'm seeing. So good job.
Scored a 25. Next, we have A Lady in Red. Scores? 999. Comments are easy. Go ahead.
It's a,
Go ahead.
yeah, I mean, technically, the background is very nice, and the lighting on the model is actually very good, and the picture is quite sharp, and the care has been taken to actually set up everything very well.
Scored 27. We have 3 to review for placement, starting with the Lady in Red, going back to Pelican Colors, and then back one more to Chanley. A 1, 2, or 3, please, on Chanley. Scores? 322. Pelican Colors. Scores? 233. This should be easy. A Lady in Red. 111. Lady in Red has received the blue ribbon. Same judges, same category. Master Monochrome Portraiture. Brooke. Scores? 888. Comments?
I'll talk to it if I may. I think this is a great image. What I don't like is the bit at the bottom here. I don't know if it's something that could have been moved out of the way, but if it could have been, then it should have been moved out of the way. But overall, this is a fantastic image. I like the tonal quality.
And that scored a 24, the only entry in the category. Okay, judges. Number 1, Clayton. Number 3, Janice. And number 4, Jerome. We're going to be advanced color still life. Frozen since fall. Scores? 7, 8, 9.
I like,
Go ahead, Janice.
okay, I like this image. I like the browns against the blue. I might have cropped it a little bit tighter, but it has a lot of interest.
Scored a 24. Next, we have cactus flower. Scores? 7, 8, 8.
Well, I looked at it and I don't know, it seems a little hard to look at for me. I mean, I think the composition is a bit off. The coloring is good. The contrast is good. I see where you're going with, but for me, it's just a little hard to look at if that makes sense.
The image scored a 23. Next, we have amaryllis bud. Scores? 8, 7, 8.
I think a lot of the interest is in the bud. I love the texture and the lighting on the bud itself. Bullseye seems to be okay for that part of it. Problem kind of arises with the stem just at the top, and you have the other bud that's kind of way in the back that's really dark red, but then you have this kind of ugly leaf right in the front, and that steals all the thunder from your bud. So maybe just trying to focus just on that and crop all the green area out might help it a little bit.
Scored a 23. Next, we have California poppy. Scores?
7, 8, 9. Look at
9,
that.
8, 7.
Well,
Comments?
the poppy is good. It's the bright yellows down at the bottom that keep, distracting you. So if you'd crop those out and just focused on the main poppy, it would have a higher score for me.
Scored a 24. Same category, same judges. Welcome, kids. Scores? 8, 8, 8.
I almost feel that would scare the kids. It's a fun image, and I think that's where all the impact is. Of course, red's an impact color, and having that big nose up there kind of helps a little bit. But I think the impact is the fun and the interest in it. Lighting, I think, is a little bit off, and we're looking at a bunch of still lifes where, yeah, it's something found, but you also have control if you want to change or arrange or relight. But I think this is just a fun image.
Scored at 24. We have 3 to review for placement, starting with Welcome Kids, going back to California Poppy, and then back again to Frozen Since Fall. A 1, 2, or 3, please, on Frozen Since Fall. Or do you want to see them again? Oh, there are 2 of them already. One, 2, or 3?
You got them all.
3, 2, 1. Okay. And let's go to California Poppy. Scores? Ah, tiebreaker.
No, not yet.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It was a 1, 1, 3, I believe. And then we have Welcome Kids. 2, 2, 3. Okay, I got something wrong.
You should have got 5, 6, and 7.
What was the last score?
2, 2, 3.
Yeah,
2, 3, 2.
but I have 3, 2, 1 on the first one, which means I have 2 2s.
No, you had 1, 2, 3 in the first one, I
I
thought.
got them in the wrong order. I'm sorry, folks. You're right. I'm wrong. 1, 2, 3 gives me a 6. That gives me a 5. So the California Poppy was selected as first.
Yes.
Okay. Judges, Harry, Jerome, and Ken. Advanced monochrome still life. Heading nowhere. Scores? 889. Comment?
Definitely fits the category. It's a found or arranged set of items. I think you did a good job with the contrast because everything is so dark throughout, but you do have a lot of shades of gray. The lighter boards going across making the train tracks, I think, is nice. The leading lines are nice. Even the fence follows in. I think just having that one rail right dead into the corner kind of disrupts your composition a little bit. I think if you had it down a little bit more or even moved it up out of the corner, it would help a little bit.
Scored a 25 and was the only entry in the category. We're going to stay with judges Harry, Jerome, and Ken, but we're going to move to advanced color unclassified. A10 Warthog, the Hunter. Scores? 889. Comments?
It's a well exposed image with a good focus, and I like the clouds in the sky. It seems like a light is a little bit in the opposite direction to you. If it was directly falling on the plane, it would actually come out a little better.
Scored a 25. Same category, same judges. Untitled. Scores? 898, comments?
I really like this image. Your depth of field is really shallow. It would have been better to have a little bit more depth of field, but I see focus in the beak. I see focus in some of the drops on the duck's feathers. I can see also where some of the duck's feathers are a little bit out of focus, and I think that's just the depth of field. I really like the texture around the duck, and I think that's what really made this image is all those raindrops making all the rings in the water. That's all the impact here. So nice capture.
Score to 25. Same category, same judges. Truck stopped. Scores? 888, comments?
I'm going to say I had the 9 in my hand. I really like the focus on this truck. I love how it's out in this empty field. I love the background. I love whatever texture you've put to the sky. Only thing is I wish that truck didn't blend in with the horizon. If you were down lower and that stuck up above the horizon into the sky, I think this would be a perfect image.
Score to 24. Next, we have beach chimes. Beach chimes. Scores? 878.
I'm one of the 8s. Let me tell you what I liked about it. I liked predominantly the sky and the general color palette. The foreground, the actual subject, sort of just blends in, and it's very difficult to focus on what is it that you are looking at, but the overall package seemed quite appealing to me.
We're scored at 23. We have 3 to review for placement. Going back 1 with truck stopped. That'll be our first one. And then going to untitled. And then back 1 more to A10 Warthog. We're looking for a 1, 2, or 3, please. Let me know if you need to see them again.
Yes, please. Once.
Okay, the Warthog, and then untitled, and then truck stopped. 1, 2, or 3 on truck stopped. Scores? 221. Entitled. Scores? 113. And A10 Warthog. Scores? 332. Okay, we have a tie. So now we want to see untitled, and then we want to see truck stopped. I want a 1 or a 2, please, on truck stopped. Scores. 221. So untitled is first place. Truck stopped is second. Okay, thank you, folks. Let's go to judges. Janice, Steve, and Gary. We're going to go with advanced, monochrome, unclassified, Ko-Kur Temple. Scores? 888. Comments?
Building has a lot of interest and I like all the branches on all the trees that are framing it. I don't think you need all of that. Could crop it down at the top a little bit, but I would still keep a lot of those branches in for framing. Looks nice.
4-24. That was the only entry in that category. We're going to stay with the same judges, but we're going to move on to Master Monochrome Unclassified with Harley Love. Scores? 888. Comments?
Yeah, I like this image. It's really nice. I like the little framing around it. I do that with a few of my photos, so I kind of like that. It's nice even lighting across it. It's a nice image.
Okay. Okay, this is master category, and I'm looking at this, and the even lighting is nice, but I think the image would have been perhaps stronger, more definition if we would have raked the light a bit more, so that some of the detail in the engine parts and everything was a little more pronounced and added more sort of depth and with some light and dark areas in there.
It scored a 24 and was the only entry in that category. So let's move on to judges 1 Clayton, 3 Janice, and Ken. Judge 5. We're going to go to intermediate color. Well, it's open. Club Challenge, which I believe this month was food. And so intermediate Club Challenge, we have a cake for mom.
Ooh, I want the cake.
Scores? Clayton score? You can see it through your fingers. 978.
I gave it a 7 only because there's just too much distraction there. That cake is beautiful, and I wish I could eat that cake. But you could have moved, that thermos out of the way, that chair out of the way, even that vase, and just had the cake with the flowers and mom. I mean, the fork sticking out at the bottom should have been removed. Just little things like that could have really improved this image because the food image is perfect.
Scored a 24. Same category, same judges. Drive-in food. Scores? 888.
I find this image very interesting. It's definitely on point with the food and it's nice and sharp. The only distraction is the feet and the people in the background. If you could have cut it a little lower, it would have been a better image. or cropped it a little lower from the top.
Score to 24. We have 2 to review for placement, starting with drive-in food, and then going back 1 to a cake for mom. A 1 or a 2, please, on a cake for mom. Scores? 1 to 2. 2. That means the other one has. Let's do drive-in food just to make it official. Scores? 2, 1, 1. And the judges have selected the drive-in food. Okay, now we're going to get interesting. We are going to have a guest judge that is not on the screen because I need another judge. Miss Linda Hicks will be judging in as a guest judge. I will tell you what she sends me as she sends me her scores. She can hear us, so if there's something differently, she will say something, but she can't get onto the screen to show us the screens the way we're set up right now.
I don't have my camera attached, so
that's
you just
fine.
you get my voice and it'll get my score.
Right. So if I say something wrong, she will let us know. Okay, so we are going to go with judges. Harry, you're judge 1. Miss Linda, you're going to be judge. Well, Jerry's going to be judge 2, but Linda's going to be judge in the middle. And Gary, you're going to be the last judge. Okay. So we are going to start out in this is advanced challenge with the appetizer. There we go. Scores? Scores? Reveal? 899.
I'll speak up since I'm jumping in on this. I would love to be invited to whatever event is giving an appetizer spread like this. The variety of color that is here, I find very pleasing. The angles leading me to different parts of the appetizer board are also very interesting. I just find it outstanding.
Score to 26. Next, we have hail to kale. Scores? 889. Comment?
Okay, I'm the high score here because I thought this image just had a lot of impact and they sort of pushed the envelope on bringing some humor and creativity into that with a little gnome looking over the spread there. So I thought it was just an interesting way to approach this subject here with food and everything is nicely lit and composition is nice with everything. But I thought the additional aspect there kind of really kicked it up.
Score to 25. Next, we have steak and eggs. Scores? 777.
While I find the plate very attractive and very interesting, because of the water bottle that's in back of the plate, it just draws my attention away to the back wall that's there out of focus. Also, I would have liked to have seen more of the piece of toast there that's on the left side of the plate. Having that cut off and the meat cut off, I find a little distracting to my viewing of this image.
And it scored a 21. Next, we have affordable 3-egg breakfast. Scores? 888. Comments?
That's
think
my idea of a perfect breakfast. A little bit of chocolate and bacon. What more can somebody ask for? What I found a little distracting, I understand the whiteness of it, but I found that a little harsh. It does accent what's on the plate a great deal, but at the same time, it bothers me.
Scored a 24. Next, we have homemade pot pies. Scores? 788. Comments?
So I think the pie is actually very much in focus, but um, the composition that you have with one full pie and one quarter pie, I thought maybe there's something more that could be done over there. But it's a good focus photo, but I didn't really find too much impact.
Scores 23. Next, we have take your pick. Scores? 788. Comments?
It's a well laid out and the seven. So just well laid out food platters. If it had been cropped a little bit to take out that shed from the left side and the person and the shopping bag in the right side, and then maybe like another shopping bag that has been opened up, that would actually make it a little bit stronger.
Scored a 23. Next, we have naturally sweet food. Scores? 999.
I love the subtle reflection of the fruits in this image, the slightly diagonal movement with it. The strawberries and blueberries are things that I feel like I could almost grab and eat off the screen. Well done.
Scored a 27. Next, we have food for an assassin bug. Scores? 797.
I'm the 9, so I'll speak to it. I find it incredible that someone was able to capture this image and get the attack of the one bug on the other. There's great focus in what I'm seeing, and I just find it a very impactful image.
Scored a 23. Next, we have Portugal's Pastel de Nata production. Scores? 777.
All right, I'll go here for a minute. The image is nicely captured. I see what the photographer was going for, trying to tell the story of what's happening here, but there's no real center of focus here. We have the workers are sort of disinterested, and we're not sure whether we should be. I'm not sure what I should be looking at here to see what's got that the pastries or whatever being produced are not are not the center of the picture, or are the help people working. So we have no center. We have no predominant subject.
We have 21. Next, we have What's for Dinner. Scores? 787. Comments?
I was arguing with myself whether to give it a 7 or an 8, and I bumped it up a little bit. An unusual capture. It just feels a little out of tilt to me. The lighting on the main meal there in the center is a little bit harsh when compared with what's in the background.
Scored a 22. Okay. Pronunciation time. Cafe Alette and Beignets, I think.
Beignets.
Yes. Beignets. I just had to see him to make sure I was right. Oops, hang on one moment. Scores? 788.
The image definitely meets the category. It has food in it, but it has a snapshot type of feeling that on the top left, there's like possibly a person. On the right, there's like a part of a chair. If it could have been, to improve it, it could have been like maybe arranged it a little better without the distraction.
Mm-hmm. Scored a 23. Next, we have fresh prawns. Scores? 787. Comments?
Well, okay. Quick comment is the fact that I see the photographer was going for some well crafted composition here, but got sort of bit by the fact that I think it's coconut. I'm not sure what the white element there is. It's kind of blown out here, and we're kind of soft on the part of the images of the tail there and everything, and then the plate and the spoon leading off here, and then the distracting elements at the top of the frame there, it sort of are not required.
Score to 22. Next, we have fast food. Scores 899.
I love the title. I love the sharpness of the red-winged blackbird going after the version of McDonald's. Great title. I love the image.
Score to 26. Next, we have fresh trout dinner. Scores 898. Comment?
Somewhat of a unique image. I've not seen it like this way, fish. But it's arranged very well, and there's like the eyes have like like the kind of shine in it, and I think it's an appealing picture.
Score to 25. Next, we have invited guests. Scores 778.
It's a really cute idea for this image. I've never seen Hershey's Kisses arranged in quite this manner. Unfortunately for me, much of the image is soft and therefore takes away from the quality of the image.
Score to 22. Next, we have breakfast. Scores 888.
I believe this is a very well composed image on how you arranged all of the things and then had the syrup flowing down. You put a lot of effort into it, and I think the result shows for it.
Just a quick note, I would have gone to 9 if it had a little more interesting lighting on it. The lighting was just a little too direct, but Harry's right with the way it was composed and everything, in my opinion, that but if it had some more interesting lighting on it to give it some depth and interest, been better.
Score to 24. Next, we have Super Bowl fare. Scores 878.
I was the 7 in this instance. It Super Bowl party I would like to be going to. Unfortunately, I feel like this image has a rather gold cast to it, which doesn't accurately represent what I believe the honest colors of all those lovely nibbles are.
Scored a 23. Next, we have pancakes. Anyone? Scores 898.
That's a breakfast I want to be invited to. It looks very appetizing to me. I think the image is well composed with the powdered sugar snowing down on it. The one thing that I might have appreciated was to see the entire platter that the pancakes are stacked upon, but it really doesn't bother me with the cut off edges.
And that scored a 25. Okay, judges, you did very, very well. We have 3 to review for placement. Let's go back to fast food. Yep, that one. And then back several more to naturally sweet food. Yep, that one. Then all the way back to the beginning for the appetizer. Yep, that one. So we got the appetizer, the sweet food, and the fast food. Do you guys need to see them again?
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Okay, the appetizer is one of them. And then naturally sweet food is next. And then fast food. Ready?
No,
Okay.
I want to give out 3 ones.
You can't do that.
So give me a minute. Okay.
Okay. Fast food, we need a 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, 2. And then naturally sweet food. Scores 2, 3, 1. And then the appetizer. Three, 1, 3. Okay, so the judges have selected fast food for first, and naturally sweet food for second, and the appetizer for third. I appreciate all of you and your tolerance in that. Now let's move on to master and finish this out. We're going to go with judges 1, Clayton, judge 4, Jerome, and judge 7, Steve. And we're going to start with bringing home breakfast. Scores 888. Comments?
You, Jerome.
Yep. I think this is a great image. I love it. I don't know if it necessarily meets the category I understand as food for him. I think in our brains, we're not thinking that way. But good image. It probably would have scored a 9 in another category.
Scored a 24. Next, we have first birthday cake. Scores. 877.
Yeah,
ahead.
I'll go ahead and talk. Um, I like the composition, I like the setup, the way you presented it. It's just very soft in the very front area of the photo.
Scored a 22. Next, we have fresh sushi. Scores. 998. Comments.
I'm the low one, and I'm just gonna copy what Jerome said on that first image. It's a great image. I'd have lowered it down a little bit, but it's not food. It's food for him, but so basically what Jerome said on the first image, same thing.
Scored a 26. Next, we have raise a toast. Scores. 889. Comments.
I think this definitely fits the category. Great colors, great impact with the colors. The reds against that blue background really stand out. I know it's tough, but I think if you just had your lemon turned a little bit more, it wouldn't be so bright, and you'd see a little bit more texture like you do on the orange back there. And I think without drawing my eye down there, that would have gave it the 9.
Scored a 25. Next, we have spice it up. Scores. 788. Comments.
I was just about a 7, but you know what? I think you thought about it a little bit instead of just shooting a straight on picture, even though it still kind of gives me just that snapshot atmosphere that I'm feeling. At least you have a little bit of depth with the lighting. You do have some angles, diagonal lines going in there. So I gave you a little bump on the score. But other than that, it's just kind of a fun, colorful image.
Scored a 23. Next, we have fruit and veggies. Scores. 777.
I think it meets the category, but and it is in focus, and there are good colors there, but I just don't think it's a pleasing image, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
Okay, hold on. That's 4 to 21. Okay, so now we have 3 to review for placement. We're going to go all the way back to Raise a Toast. That one. And then back 1 more to Fresh Sushi. And then back 2 more to Bringing Home Breakfast. And those are our 3 we're judging for placement. So Bringing Home Breakfast, the sushi, and the toast. Are you guys ready? You okay, Clayton?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's go with Bringing Home Breakfast. Scores 2-3-2. And Fresh Sushi scores 3-2-3. And Raise a Toast 1-1-1. So the judges have selected Raise a Toast for first and Bringing Home Breakfast for second. And that should conclude our meeting. I have a few announcements to make. First of all, I'd like to thank the judges, competition staff, and the results of the competition will be included in the April issue of Focal Expressions. The competition video is also available on YouTube. I'd like to remind everybody that we're hanging prints at the federal courthouse on April 8th at 9 a.m. and we need volunteers to help get all that done. The more hands we have, the quicker it gets done. If you have any questions about that, either give me or Mary a call and we will try to give you some advice on coming to help out. We could use all the help we can get. After that, I'd like to thank you all. It's been a wonderful evening and putting up with the patience of my mistakes.